So, Mr. Vershon, Mr. Quef Dem, what are you saying, my G? What's happening?
I know COVID is happening.
Yeah. It's still happening on all the world, boss. It's just, a lot of things have been like developing over the past year, man. I mean, how are things for you, like, as a roundup in the past year for you as far as like this madness called the pandemic?
Things is alright as long as I got life. I'm good. So
Yeah. And I can see that you're blessed. Like you're still swagging up. You're still in the studio. You've been doing studio work since you were 18 years old, home studio life. So nothing's changed for you in that regard.
no, and I mean, regardless of the pandemic, we still have to live. We still have to do what we have to do. So yeah,
Nah, straight up, man. I mean, obviously, we can't even leave the UK without, get potentially getting a fine in going to certain places that we can't go to. So it's crazy. But I've seen a lot of people go to like Ghana or Dubai, and it's kind of like these loopholes that we don't even know about. So I mean, obviously for you, like you're very well connected with the UK scene. I mean, how does it feel that it's a bit difficult at the moment doing things face to face? Are you good with doing things face to face, or has this pandemic allowed you to be more open about being adaptable in this situation?
I mean, this is my first pandemic, so this is my first experience to something like this. So it's
Mm.
kind of hard, but what can I do?
Now you have to keep going, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I've been told just before we got on that you're currently in Miami at the moment.
yes, I'm in mine.
Okay. Because I was gonna say how are things in Jamaica, but luckily I was told. So imagine if I say that you're Jamaican and you tell me no, man's in Miami right now.
Yes, I know what I've heard. Because I still have my mom in Jamaica, my sister, my brother. I still have family there. So the case is going up, and they're saying that the hospitals are full. So
Mm,
I'm not sure.
okay. I mean, God bless if to be everyone safe. That's the main thing, and to keep ourselves alive and keep ourselves well as best as possible. I mean, what's the traveling situation like in Miami at the moment? Are you able to navigate, or is it kind of like a little bit restricted over there?
No man, you can travel, but I think if you leave, you have to before you leave, you have to take a COVID test, and when you're coming back, you have to take a COVID test. So
Hmm. Okay. So, I mean, obviously, in between times, it must be a bit frustrating at times of thinking, oh, got to do this test again. I got to go to the other side and do all this.
I mean, no, I'm not traveling anytime soon. I came here after December the 8th, and I,
Right.
and I don't think I'm gonna travel for now. Maybe like after everything kind of cool down.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, fingers crossed. I mean, on the UK, we just had it announced that the biggest state for us is June 21st, because apparently that's when all restrictions get lifted off as far as the UK side of things. Travel might still be a bit of a mad one, but at least for us, like we're free after that. We can go to large scale events again. And I mean, in your case, it must have been like, with like touring and having to perform on stage, and with the lack of it at the moment, it must be pretty frustrating for you that you just want to go on stage and have the urge.
Yeah. I miss it, but as I said before, what can I do? Like
Yeah,
I said,
yeah,
I'm just chilling right now.
yeah. I mean, of course, like you said, you got the home studio set up, so you got everything you need right in front of you, man. So, at least that's a good thing about the pandemic, and you're putting in that work constantly, which we appreciate, man. So just to take it back a little bit, just for my sense of everything. I mean, what was it like growing up in Jamaica? Because I hear that you got into music at a young age. With most artists that I tend to speak with, they deal with music at a young age. You dealt with some hardships. You dropped out of school, but you were determined to finish education. You were singing in church, and then, as we just mentioned, that you had your home studio set up at the age of 18, and you're still doing this. So what got you to the realization that music was your outlet through all that you've gone through and to pursue it?
Um, when I got the big song in a real life, my entire life changes. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was able to help my mom. We moved from the ghetto. Send my sister through college. Send my little brother through college. So that was that's the moment when I took it very very serious. Like, oh,
Mm.
this is my full time job, because before that I used to create like rhythms and stuff and sell. So between that time I was on the edge of being a producer, also an artist. But at
Okay.
2015, when I got this song, I said, okay, then this is what I'm going to do.
Because when you kind of first came into the scene like fully, like it was like 2013 when you had Boom, which you had with Birch.
Right.
Was he kind of like the introducing factor to really elevating your career and getting to the point where you are now?
Right, because at that time I didn't had any contract, we didn't have any signed agreement. Goofy, that's
Yes.
from back in the 90s, Mr. G.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the one that introduced me to Birch.
Right.
And Birch was impressed because Birch was like, who made all these beats and who record you, who mix? And I was like, me do everything. So Birch was impressed. Birch said, okay then, listen. As a youth coming from the ghetto, you remind me of myself. The only thing me never used to sing. So me go help you.
So I guess for him it's like a mentor in like kind of an area that he didn't pursue himself in like personally as far as singing, but he wanted to push you in that element, saying like, kid, you got talent, you can sing. I'm gonna help you to really elevate.
Yeah, I mean, at that time, him just see me as a youth where him want to help. That's why I know good people are out there because never there look no benefits from it.
Yeah. Did you come from like a musical family as well, or was it just something that you kind of brought yourself in? Because, like you said, like we said, at the age of 9 was when you kind of really started, like, exploring the idea of music and seeing certain things in that. So, was that with the family? Were they quite musical, or was it just something that you personally got attached to yourself with?
They say that my grandfather was a member of a band. But he died when I was very young, so I wouldn't know.
Okay. But I mean, obviously, having seen certain things, well, obviously being in Jamaica is quite, a musical sort of environment anyway. Were there things in particular that stood out that thought like, oh, okay, I kind of like this. Like, music is really, getting to me. It's like, were there certain elements in being in Jamaica that got you there?
I started singing from age 9 in church. I was from a Christian background. So I used to sing in church. And then when I started high school, you have the sports day, you have the fair day and stuff like that. So I used to sing and mash up the place and everybody. At the time, it was a version. It was a version. It was just Kemar the man. So I always encourage me and say, yo, you have a good sounding voice now. I think you could do music. And that's when I just say, okay, I'm going to make this a career.
So, I mean, not to sound generic, but when it comes to your name Vershon, like, you just mentioned like Kemar was just you, experimenting, and then you getting to the point of being an artist. When did you get to the point of like calling yourself Vershon, and what was the whole emphasis of calling you that?
Was about the name came up because of my best friend.
Okay.
It was a long time, like 2000. It was a long time. I was about age 11.
Right.
11. And him just call me Vershon.
Yeah.
Version.
Ah, that makes sense. Because he must have looked at you as like, this is the version of Kimar that I know, so let's bring it out, that kind of vibes.
Yeah. So at that time, that name Vershon was copyrighted by the Prime Minister. Well, he wasn't the Prime Minister at the time.
Okay.
Edward, yeah, Jamaica Prime Minister. And I couldn't use it. That's when I decided to get the spelling of the name. So when I link up with Birch, that's how the spelling of the name changed.
Okay, that's interesting. Because so basically, you had your best friend called you the name that you would have intended to have, but because someone else had it and you couldn't really take it, you flipped it when you met Birch. And that
Right.
was it a conversation between you and Birch that finalized like the name and stuff like that before you went on?
Yes, because that was the first thing he said. Listen, we need to fix a name for you. You need to have a name.
Yeah.
One that will work. And we start gamble with the spelling.
Yeah.
At one point it was Vershon.
Oh, so keeping the version, but having like the sh into it. Do you know what I mean? To try and vary it up.
We changed it to Vershan.
Right.
Yeah, and then we just gamble with it until we say, okay, this is the one we use it.
And obviously, you know, that name has been synonymous for a little over the decade, man. So it's really worked out to you. So big up to Birch for, you know, getting you to that point, that starting point anyway. And speaking like of Riddims, you know, you are the king of Riddims of our generation, because when I look back in terms of Riddims, like the early 2000s, I looked at the ones like Bollywood Riddim, Liquid Riddim, Buyout Riddim, you know, Diwali Riddim. Like these are like synonymous like rhythms that really resonated with me when I was exploring Caribbean music. And for me, I grew up in a predominantly white family, so I didn't really know much about bashment until my early teens, and then that really caught on to me as far as Caribbean music. And then for you being the new generation of dancehall artists, like you came in 2013, and you're still doing the rhythm trends to this day. Like, you know, you had Simple Ting, M25. I mean, Stepper's rhythm that you worked with Buju as well. How do you think the rhythm has evolved from like the 2000s, that, you know, I guess we're both from similar sort of age ranges, to now being the 2010s and 2020s? How do you feel like it's evolved over the years?
I mean, the new youths are more into like a trap type of beat, so it's a mixture of like dancehall with some hip hop sounds or stuff like that. Um, so that's how I see it going right now. But for me personally, I like the trap music and I also like the authentic dancehall, so I keep
Mm,
it in between everything.
mm.
I'm
So
not
it's
going.
so it's kind of like a thing where like you're evolving with it, like in going with the times, but also respecting the classic culture that came before it.
Right, right.
Right, I understand that. So that's why like you're the king of these, you know, updated rhythms that you've been doing over the years, man. Like I said, I appreciate some of the classics that you've been doing, man. And I wanted to touch on, because I spoke with Cranium last year, and you know he was telling me that as far as like, you know, new generation of artists like say Jada Kingdom, Sincere, Alakar Harley. I mean, of course, you're part of the conversation as well. How do you fare as far as the evolution in dancehall? And he said to me that a lot of you guys are putting in the work, but there needs to be more dancehall records, not just like the ones that come up every couple of years. I mean, in the 2000s, he was also saying that if you were to ask the average person like who Sean Paul is, like TOK, Mr. Vega, Shaggy, everyone would know without even having to know about dancehall. So, what is your take, in your opinion, about the evolution of dancehall to this time frame now?
I mean, it kind of hard to control to get back to the authentic dancehall sound because, as you know, most of the youths just have a laptop, them have the Fruity Loop, the Reason, and them computer. So them just get some sound and just put it together and
Mm,
call it call it dancehall. But
mm,
something
mm, mm,
that's really dancehall is really something else that I can't explain. But for the most of what we know, it's working out because I've seen so many big rhythms that are not 100% dancehall, but it do work. So,
mm,
I mean, time I got change, you know. We
mm.
can't stay the vintage ways forever. But it's
True.
also good to mix the vintage with the young, fresh sound, and then
Mm.
that would be good.
I think it's interesting where like there's a lot of, not just of dancehall, but like all different genres, that a lot of samples are taken from what is classic and then brought into now to cater to like the modern generation that we're in. So it's kind of like a reminder of like, yeah, we're stepping up a notch, but we're respecting from what's been done before and then updating it for our audience to go like, oh yeah, they can go back and, you know, listen to something that was classic and for, oh, that's where it came from. Okay, I get it.
You see, even now, I think the music is more selfish than back then. Because
Mm,
back then you used to have a different type of musicians link up. This man will play a bass, somebody else play a drum, other play keys and stuff, and then put it together. You get one rhythm. Now every you just want to lock up in a them house. Them just want to do everything by themselves. Them not trying to
mm,
get a bass from that person who know it from long time, or trying
mm,
to get a key from that person who know it long time. So
mm,
it's more selfish now.
mm. To an extent, I think it is, because obviously, as especially the social media generation, we're all about ourselves. Let's be real. So, like, you know, when we take a picture, we're all about the best part of our lives, and we don't even dare show the bad parts of our lives. Really,
That is true.
it's a madness, man. I mean, you know, you've been doing music for a very, very long time, man. Like, you know, like you said, you started properly like at 18. You've been doing music like on the side since you were 9 years old. You know, working with Birch and having Boom as your first like a really hit single, and then seeing the evolution. I mean, even with your track Barbie Doll, like that was another killer of a track that you had out there. Like obviously you had it alongside Cushions, break Off Your Back, but you put your stamp on it as to say like, I'm here, this is me, like don't mess around, them sort of vibes there. And the thing is, you still keep going. Like, you're still doing music now. I see you're at the studio, putting in that work. I mean, what keeps you motivated?
I mean, my past struggles and music is an inborn concept, is an inborn talent for me. So I don't do it because I'm just trying to make. I mean, money is involved in it, but I'm not all about the money. I'm just doing it because I love music, and that is what I stand for. That is what I represent. So that's what keeps me going.
So it's not the money that's a motivator. It's the fact that you have the enjoyment of just creating content and putting it out there. I mean, because I heard in an interview that you just got like loads upon loads upon loads of tracks unreleased that you're ready to put out there, but you're just waiting for the right time.
Right.
Right.
And everywhere I go, I always have a record studio here, or is either portable or something, but I always have music in my hand. If I'm on the plane, I have music. It's like music is my life. So I'm not doing it because of just money. I'm doing it because I love music. So yeah.
Well, I hope to see you back on the plane soon. Yeah, coming back to our turf at some point, man. So we miss you over here. And obviously speaking earlier from our connection with the UK. You connected with Chip, Trillary Banks, and obviously Fanatix on your latest EP, Only One. Set to release on the 5th of March with your lead single, Stick With Me. Firstly, what was your first experience of the UK music scene? Like, who introduced you to it? And then what got you attracted to our scene? And what was it that really stood out for you as far as what we're dealing with?
I think it's the accent for me. I love the UK. Sometimes you go out in the world, like Europe and stuff like that, and people like, yo, we love Jamaican accent.
Yeah.
Accent. So I think it's the accent for me. Remind me of Jamaica.
Yeah. I think in a way, like I've grew up with like Jamaicans all my life in a sense where I did say that I grew up in a predominantly white family, but as my teens and going into my adult years, like I got exposed to a lot of Jamaicans, a lot of Africans in general. So I got more involved with the culture. And, when it comes to the UK and Jamaica, or UK and Barbados, for example, like we're all interconnected in a way. Like even though like you speak Patois and we speak English over here, it's a connection. Like it's hard to explain really. So it's just a thing that we just have that thing. I don't know how to describe it. Like how would you fare as far as your connect with the UK to say, oh yeah, you're like we're really about this together.
I mean, not much I can say about it. I just it reminds me of Jamaica, and it's very close.
It's a close thing, man. So like all of us are united on that. And of course, like what I heard is you got the collab with Chip through the Fanatix, who are predominantly part of your EP as far as productions. Were they the driving force as well to getting you to the label Parlophone, which you're signed under as well?
Yes.
Okay, so how did that come about as far as like the label link up and Fanatix having that impact to say, okay, we suggest that you work with these guys? How did that all link?
Fanatix, they came to Jamaica 2019. Plan B was there, and they linked me up and say, yo, we in Montego Bay, so I wanna do some music with you. So I drove to Montego Bay, and they had a portable studio. Yeah, and they started to play some tracks and stuff. So I invited Plan B into the session. That's how we put Stick By Me together. That was the first track recorded, and then it was Reality. But Reality was just me. And when the Fanatix went back to the UK, they added Chip on it.
Okay, so they were the ones that contacted Chip and say, yo, you need to work with Vershon right now.
Right. And then they linked me up and say, yo, we could just make an EP. The fact that you don't have 2 songs already, we could just make a 6-track EP. And that was a really good thing to do.
So when it came to like the connection with you and Chip, then like how did he first receive you as far as like because obviously you're on the track together, so obviously he must have thought like you're the shit, but like how what was the relationship like? Did you like was it like instant like you built the chemistry straight away?
Um, I didn't talk to Chip until after him record, So
Oh right, so it was like passing back and forth.
yeah, but it was through the Fanatix, and then after he recorded his verse on the song, that's when I spoke to him on the phone, and he was like, "Yo, Vershon, big up yourself and love your music." It was just a vibe. It was just a vibe, and
Yeah. Are you guys still keeping in touch now?
yeah, man. Big
Yeah,
up
man.
Chip all the
Yeah.
time, man.
Big up him every single time, man. And was that the same in terms of like with Trillary Banks? Was that again through the Fanatics?
Yes.
Okay. And then was that the same sort of thing as in like, passing back and forth with the track and
Yeah.
then connecting afterwards?
Right, and I talked to her on social media. At one point she was in Jamaica, but I wasn't there, and she wanted to link up. But when I went back, she already left.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, by the way, Whisper is my favorite of the EP. I gotta say, man, with you and Trillary, man, you killed it. It was such a thing where even like with the lyrics like want your body, what you talking about. I thought yo, this is a killer, bro. You know what I mean? And even with her flavor in it as well, I'm thinking like, man, I'm about to call up my girl and just say like, yo, what are you doing right now? you got me there, that feel, you got me in the feels there.
She brings out a personality, like a bad girl personality. I think it's gonna work though.
No, it will. And I mean, are you guys thinking about doing like more tracks in the future as far as like, yeah, man. Okay, and of course, like with the EP, like we just mentioned, it's pretty UK centric compared to other projects that you've done recently. Did you ever think that you wanted to work with UK artists before? Like, because a lot of your catalog is more with you and other fellow dancehall artists as well. But have you ever thought of doing UK talent collaborations before, or was it just something that you focused on with this EP?
No, I mean, I'm always open to work with anybody, not just UK specific. Could be the US, could be Barbados, it could be Trinidad, anywhere. I'm all about music as long as it makes sense, so feel good, then I'm ready to work. So.
Yeah, so it's more organic for you. So it has to be an organic situation. I mean, who would be your dream collaborations like from across the world then? I mean, let's start with the UK. I mean, you've already worked with Chip and Trillary. That's already in the books. But who else, like on our side, if you put in your eye to and your ears to?
Nobody specific. As I said before, I'm all about music because sometimes artists trick themselves thinking that doing a song with a big name, it will work. But sometimes there are artists that don't have any name and then you link up and do a song with them and it becomes a hit. So I'm just all about music.
Yep.
I'm ready to work with anybody as long as it makes sense, feel good, and sound good. I'm ready.
I like your philosophy that you don't set the bar for like who you want to work with. You literally just make it open as long as it makes sense for you and that you enjoy the vibes, and then you're just going to put it out there. As long as it's good music, it doesn't matter who it is.
I mean, it's music, and we don't know what will work and what might not work. We just blend because a lot of times we have good songs and we put it out thinking it will work and it don't work. And sometimes the song you least expect.
And of course, like on the EP as well, that you got Busy Signal and YCee, who I spoke with last year as well. Really cool guy. I mean, were those all organic as well? Like, how did those connections come to say like we want you on the EP as well?
Okay, Busy, I'm a virgin, and when I got that rhythm from Fanatix, he was the first come to mind. I'm like, yo, Busy sounding. So when I recorded the song, we just link him up and say, yo, bro, me have a song, and more you put a verse on it. I'm say, yeah, man, send it come, because we always have a good relationship. I always respect him. Him always respect me as the upcoming youth same way. So me and him have a strong relationship. But YCee's now that connection came through the Fanatix as well. So
a lot of it is like the Fanatix. So realistically, they're kind of like your go-to as far as like, okay, who do you work off each other as far as like what you expect as far as to put the track together and then they put their input? Is it kind of like a 50-50 relationship in that way?
No, them just send me the beat I record the song, send it back to them.
Straight. Easy as done, mate. Easy as done, man. I mean, you know, obviously we're looking forward to the EP to come out, man. We're really looking forward to it, and obviously, like, you know, your background in music and, you know, killing it with the Riddims, like, still going on. We really respect your craft, man. So, you know, we really appreciate it. So, I mean, what you most looking forward to when this pandemic is over, man? Like, I mean, like you said, you're gonna stick at home for a bit, you know, do some more recordings. But what's the main thing you're looking forward to when all the borders open again and we can all be free in our lives again?
Traveling.
Yeah, 100%, brother.
Going to a party. I mean, for the first part of it, I might not feel safe. The fact that COVID just passed, or maybe we just get the chance to go back outside. But I'm really looking forward to traveling though.
Where would you like to? Where are the hotspots that you would like to travel that you hadn't had a chance to go to yet?
All right. I didn't go to Africa.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
So
I mean, Ghana, you could even go to right now because like I'm hearing there's like a loophole to even go there. So I mean, everyone's going there right now.
I don't want to go through a loophole. I just want to.
You want to go through the direct route? I'm like you, brother.
I would just wait.
Yeah. Patience is virtue. So we'll have that when it comes. Like you'll feel proper for doing so, man. All right, cool. Well, before I let you go, just wanted to ask you some quick fire questions, if that's cool with you.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So the first one is, what's your favorite clothing brand?
I mean, I just wear clothes as long as them look good.
Yeah, I mean, I see you wear like Gucci and Fendi at times. Right? Is there a particular one when you go to the shops and thinking, that's the brand I always tend to go for?
Sometimes we intend to wear some brand because of what we think the fans might think. Yo, it cool. I mean, I just wear clothes. I wear clothes from Fashion Nova, from Jimmy Jazz, Gucci, Fendi, Adidas, Nike. So, as long as it look good.
Yeah, I'm like you as well, man. I mean, right now I've got an independent brand called Bear Supply, and I'm wearing Puma as well, and I feel good in it. So I'm with you on that, brother. Your favorite song of yours?
That's a tough one. Because I have so many favorites.
Okay, let's have a top 3 then, if anything, if that helps.
I would say in a real life, reason why that song changed my entire life.
It certainly did.
I would never forget that song. And then I would say Mercy of God. Because that song touched a whole lot of people. And then I would say Stick By Me is now one of my favorites. So
of course.
And
of
why I
course.
say Stick By Me is like a different side of version.
Yeah.
Never hear before. So
yeah, compared to like all the stuff you've done before, this is like a completely different perspective of how we see you. So it's like a brand new sort of like eyes to it. It's like it's crazy, man. Favorite UK song? Or if you've got a few.
I can't think of any right now.
Okay. Well, we'll revisit that at some point. All right. What's your favorite dish?
I don't want to say mackerel. There's something with mackerel. You know about mackerel, right?
Of course.
Yes. All right. Like what you know about mackerel. Let's just keep it that way. So it would be mackerel and white rice for me.
Oh, I think for me it would be. I mean, I like curry goat and rice. I love that. And if it would be another dish, it would be. I mean, obviously it's African, but it'd be jollof rice. And yeah, that would just be it for me, man. I love those dishes, man. Favorite used emoji. So when you text, do you have an emoji that you use regularly?
There's one. There's an emoji with the, like a guy having hand on him head like this.
Oh yeah, it's just like no. I think my one's normally like this one.
Oh, you don't know.
Yeah. Trying to get myself out of a situation, but it's just like you've already dug yourself deep. So yeah, that's why I do that one. Who's your celebrity crush?
Celebrity crush.
I mean, you're all about the ladies, man. So
that's a tough question because there's a lot of celebrity that I like. I mean, I just like woman overall, yeah, man. That's it.
All right. Well, I mean, If there was, all right, if you could give me a few, then if there's a couple that you think like, yo, if I were to meet her right now, I would be like crushing over her. You know what I mean? I want her right now. You know the ones.
Well, I'm not like that still. I don't.
Okay, okay. What's your most embarrassing moment? It can be a funny one. It can be lighthearted. Whatever you feel.
Embarrassing moment. You know, I'm gonna let that one pass. I just want to keep something private.
Okay. Fair enough. If you weren't a singer, what would you be doing?
Maybe I electrician because that's what I used to study.
Okay. Cool. And the last one is, what would you want to leave behind, leaving your legacy? So when you're in the Hall of Fame, being one of the greatest dancehall artists of all time, what would you want to leave behind?
Enough so my kids can survive. That's it.
I like that. I like that. Do you know what it is? You sound like a true family man, and I like that. 'Cause I'm pretty much the same, really.
Bro, I love my kids, bro. I'm
Yeah,
doing this.
yeah,
It's like
man.
I have no life no more.
Yeah, man.
I'm living
Nah,
for me. I'm
yeah,
living.
man. Well, like I said, we can't wait for only one EP to come out. Like we can't wait for the EP. We can't wait for new greatness to come from you. And I really appreciate you taking your time out, out of your schedule to come talk to me. So I really appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, man. Every time. Big up.
All
It's
right,
a pleasure.
it's a pleasure, man. Well, I know you got more famous shit to do, so I ain't gonna hold you up much longer, man. If you could tell if you could tell our audience where they can catch you on all the socials, what's coming up for you, the floor is yours, my man.
Okay. Well, you can find me at Vershon Music. That's Instagram, and the Vershon is Vershon, and you get every updates there. Everything is there.
Yeah, man. He's a king of rhythms. He's got a banging EP coming out, and I've heard it. Like I said, catch up a Whisper. Like I said, Whisper's my favorite. And we hope to see you back in the UK soon. Like, you could just kill it on stage. I mean, hopefully, like Notting Hill Carnival when it comes back around, man. We want to see you back.
Yeah, man. Big respect, man. And I think I like that, the King of Riddims. I think I like.
All right. Well, I mean, if you do quote it, yeah, like just quote me from saying that, yeah.
Fast, man. I gotta remember say you did call me. So.
All right. If anything from this interview, if anything, that's it. That's the one. All right.
King of Riddims.
All right. Well, peace out, brother, and hope to see you around the corner, man.
My blessings. Respect.
All right. Take care, man.